Hi, my name is Rick Creel. Today we're going to go to High Falls just below Lake Glenville. Make sure you stay to the end though, because about 1,700 feet away from High Falls is another beautiful waterfall that a lot of people miss. I'm going to show you how to get there. And make sure that you like and subscribe to this channel. That way you can keep up with the other hikes and adventures we go on. I'll see you soon.
The purpose of these videos is not to wow you with great cinematography, talk about my dog, my family, or things like that. Rather, I'm just trying to help familiarize you with some of these trails, give you some of the high points and secrets, and help you to determine if this is a good trail for you, your family, or even Granny. If you think this kind of information is useful to you, then please be sure and subscribe. I'd love to hear from you. One of the first things you'll want to do at any trailhead is to stop and check the information board. This will have things such as the trail distance, the map of the trail, and possibly warnings. But they don't always tell you everything. For example, this trailhead map tells you that it's only 6/10 of a mile to the waterfall. Not bad. Looking at the trail, looks pretty easy. But what it doesn't tell you is there's a 650-foot change in elevation. That is 65 stories that you're going to be walking down to get to this waterfall. Now, that means it's 65 stories that you're going to have to come back up. So it may not be suitable for small children. It also doesn't tell you that the trail narrows down quite a bit towards the bottom. And about the flow rate change, it does mention that, but it doesn't tell you when that is. And when the water's flowing for these class 4 and class 5 rapids and all these kayakers that are going to be there, it can be a little bit difficult to see the falls at that time. There's also several warning signs along there. Now, these are for your protection. Stay on the trail. The chances are you're not going to find anything that Columbus, DeSoto, or maybe the Native Americans haven't found already. So again, stay on marked trail. High Falls comes down from Lake Glenville up above. It's known as the West Fork of the Tuckasegee River. The river, for the most part, just meanders through a lot of private property, so this Duke Power access is the only public access to High Falls. But there is another one that is currently allowed. In fact, that's the one that you want to use during a flow release because it puts you on the other side of the river, which is also where you will need to be to see this other waterfall we mentioned earlier in the video. Let's head upstream from the other trail as we head towards the falls. And the reason for this is I want you to pay attention to this little beach and pool area right here, because we're going to come back to that. You're going to need that to find this trail to the lower waterfalls when you come from the Duke Power side. Now, let's have a look at High Falls. This is about the point where you're going to enter the falls from the Duke Power access side over to the right here. Now, during a water release, all of this is underwater, so you're not going to have access to any of this area. And coming in from the right over there, you're going to have very little place to stand to actually see the falls. That's why the other access at the end of this video is what's going to be helpful. As you approach the falls, you're going to notice there's both a upper and lower section, totaling about a 100-foot waterfall. You can get above that lower section of the falls by just crossing over the river, going over to those trees to the left, and working your way around up on top. But that's about as far as you need to go. The upper falls are extremely dangerous and there's no need to go up there. It's solid rock and the rocks are very slick. One fall, well, you know what could happen. We don't want to see anybody injured on this trip. I took this photograph of my buddies just so you could see kind of the perspective and the size of these falls. Now, one of them's actually going to go up onto that little up section. So there he is. Do you see him? He's just under the My Friend sign he's holding up there. And what's really amazing is that when they do have this water release coming down through here, where he's standing and everything below is completely underwater. So we keep coming back to the beach. We've mentioned it a few times, and the reason is because it is sort of a high point. Not only is it a good pool to wade in, a nice sandy beach to relax on, but if you'll notice those boulders underneath the tree over there, If you'll just climb over those boulders, you'll actually see a trail just on the other side, and that's going to lead us to that second waterfall. The trail opens up rather quickly, and if you continue it, it'll actually take you all the way back out to Highway 107, just below Cashier. This first left fork, it'll take us right back towards the river. Again, going straight will take you out to the highway. This is that second trail. But now before we get out to the falls out here, I want to show you how to get to this other trail from the other side. Now from Pine Creek Road, we want to take Highway 107 north back towards Silva and Cullowhee, where you're going to come to Shoal Creek Mountain Road. Turn left on Shoal Creek Mountain Road, and just a little ways down there, you're going to see the red gate that everybody parks. We don't want to park in front of the gate because these people are kind enough to let us use this access, so we certainly want to respect them. This trail is about 3.5 miles out and back, so it is a little bit longer, but you certainly don't have the elevation change, such as 65 stories. Here there's only about a 40-foot elevation change that you're going to be using going up and down. It's a much better access, and also when there is a water release, which the link will be below, you'll want to use this access to get to the falls. And now let's get back to the river. This waterfall you're going to hear long before you see it. It's just on the other side of the river. Just walk across the stones and your feet won't even get wet. That is, if you're not wearing tennis shoes or flip-flops. And I don't think that's how you go hiking, is it? When you get to the other side of the river, you're going to see some stairs over there that you can actually use to get closer to the falls. These stairs used to have a no trespassing sign because this actually belongs to a private community. It's a gated community that we don't really have access to. So respect their privacy and respect the waterfalls. The trail actually goes back to the parking lot for that community, for which we really don't have access. So again, we just want to be able to use this while respecting everybody's privacy. Once known as Rough Run Falls, these are more commonly known now as Hatcher Falls. Now, while some people say these falls are only 40 feet tall, you can clearly see by going on up above with our drone, they are higher than that. The reason is probably because you can't see this upper section from down below. And remember, this is private property, so we really don't have access to these upper levels. So we shouldn't really be trying to go around exploring and seeing what we can get to. Just enjoy the falls and enjoy your day. There you have it, 2 beautiful waterfalls in one single trip. Now, as I mentioned, you're not going to be able to access Hatcher Falls during a water release. So what I'm going to do in the description below is give you the link for those releases. You can check the dates and times so that you don't miss anything. So you've seen both High Falls and Hatcher Falls. You're going to enjoy this trip. I hope you enjoyed this video as well. If you did, make sure you like it and also subscribe so you can see other waterfalls and hikes. And even better, just leave a comment. We'd love to hear from you. Or even an idea of maybe a waterfall or a hike that you're aware of that maybe we haven't covered yet. So until next time, this is Ramblin' Rick. I hope you enjoy roaming the mountains as much as I do.
Yes, dear, I'm sure they subscribed.